Hello, my name is Wendy Harbor, and this is my sign name. Before working for Disability Services, I was working on my master's in education at Hartford University in Boston, Massachusetts. Today I'm going to talk about universal design. But before that, I want to give a little information and some background about myself. So I graduated with a bachelor's in psychology and I started working in the K-12 setting in Wisconsin. It's a very interesting job because every day I was working in an educational setting where kids themselves were deaf and they also had other disabilities, handicaps, so to speak. Before, one of the girls I worked with, she went every day after school to go to a place called Have a Heart Farm. That place was amazing because it was a great learning experience for myself, personally and professionally. So what happened at that farm, those farmers had workers and they had a situation happen where one of the boys, who also had a disability, cerebral palsy, and as time went on, how they were running the system was not working. And now Wisconsin has a lot of farmers and also in Maryland. So over the course of the years, that family decided to give that family to their physical therapist. Now that woman, whose name was Jan, she had a great idea and vision for the farm, and she called it Have a Heart Farm. And it was an amazing place for kids because it was it was set up for them. So the house itself, it had full accessibility, and it also offered a respite for those kids, and for any kids who might need it. And it was a mix of kids with disabilities and who didn't have disabilities, and that in of itself was wonderful. And how it was created, it was just such a safe space. The way they used the field, and it was just a beautiful, amazing place for kids with disabilities. Now, when kids went to the farm, they had some speech therapy, physical therapy, and a various, all these different kinds of supports. It was a wonderful farm, and it was set up like a farm, and the kids had a lot of fun. And the kids didn't realize they were having fun and getting therapy. And it was funny because, the kids had disabilities and their siblings did not have disabilities, and they really wanted to go to the farm. And they would ask their parents, I really want to go. I want to have speech therapy with my brother or sister. So it's a very interesting place. And the way she set it up was wonderful. So an example of how they use things, they had a swing set. So it was set up in kind of like a bowl with windows so that a child could lay in it and still see out of it. And it was just really beautiful for those kids. And it was also heated, so if a kid was walking across it, it'd be fine because the floor was warm. And in Wisconsin, that's an important thing. Anyway, so that was my first experience with universal design, was that farm, because it was really designed for all of the kids. So now I'm going to explain a little bit about other disabilities. So before, up until now, typically there was two mottos that were used when it came to disabilities. The first one was called the interaction model. They often used it in Europe in their systems. And that motto was really wonderful because it said disabilities, they were neutral. Something similar, just like your eye color. And if you had a disability, it wasn't nothing inside of you that was a problem. There was just various ways to work with you. So if something became a barrier for you, maybe for example a wheelchair, and you weren't able to go up something like chairs or something, that meant the problem was with the environment itself, not with that individual who used the wheelchair. And that was called the interaction model of disabilities. Now the second model was called the medical model. That's really a very old-fashioned perspective, and it really looked at disabilities as a problem, and that they needed to heal that, and it was a problem with the person. But with those two models, they were basically compared to each other. Some was used for research and really set the framework for like school topics. For myself about those two models, you don't really use them every day. So as a teacher, you're either going to use either one of the models in the classroom. So what I would do is help with her attitude and really help her work with the kids because you don't use it every day. But I really wanted to change her classroom and perspective on how to teach kids.